We know that Americans love their guns probably more than they love their McDonald's. And we also know that Europeans smoke as if they're trying to break some sort of world record. But those are old things, known things. You probably knew about them. But today I'm going to tell you 5 differences between America and Europe that will probably blow your mind. Boom! Boom! Cześć ludzie! What's up people? Hola! VIGO'S dad here. Welcome to another episode. Today we're gonna do 5 differences between America and Europe. I'm gonna borrow a term, the term America, although it's a touchy term because most Latinos don't like when the United States refers to itself as America or as Americans, because America is the whole continent. So Colombians, Venezuelans, Peruvians, they're also American. But I understand where this comes from. The official name is the United States of America. And I think it's just simpler to say America than to say the United States. But my Latino friends, perdón, solamente por hoy, vamos a utilizar el término de Americanos. Thankfully, with Europeans, it's much simpler. Most Europeans are okay being called Europeans. You're probably thinking, why is this Latino going to tell us differences between the United States and Europe when he is, you know, Dominican, a Latino? First of all, historically, Dominican Republic and many Latin countries have a very close link to the United States. Economic links, cultural links, political links. So we are pretty in tune with the American culture and the American system altogether. And on the other hand, I've been living in Europe already for more than 15 years. I studied in Madrid and in Barcelona, then I lived in Austria, lived in London. I'm married to a Polish woman, have Polish family, half Polish kid. Europe is home. Because of that, I thought that it would be very interesting to create a video where we can see some differences that are not so commonly talked about. So let's begin. The first difference that I want to cover is what I like to call fake pleasantries versus rude honesty. And I want to preface this by putting a big disclaimer down here that I am aware that when I say Europe and Europeans, I'm talking about a collection of countries, of cultures. But for the most part, if you take all of the European countries and you get a medium, you're gonna find that there are more similarities among you guys than there are differences. The same thing can be said about America. When you talk about the East Coast versus the West Coast, or the Midwest, or the southern states, there are a lot of differences among them in food, in behavior, in accent. I think by now it's a fairly well-known thing that one of the characteristics of Americans is that they are friendly, that they are open, they are approachable, and there's going to be a level of pleasantry that it's going to be quite apparent in a conversation with an American. With Europeans, I think it's also fair to say that they are a little bit more closed, a little bit more distant. It takes a little longer for them to warm up to you. That will result in a foreigner feeling like they are a little bit rude. This is a very solid first impression sometimes. Now, one of the things that Americans get attacked with is that they don't mean the things that they say, or at least that it doesn't come from the heart. They ask you, hey man, how was your weekend? It was good? You had a good fun? It's like they're asking in autopilot mode. Whereas Europeans might not ask you about your weekend because they don't know you, they don't care. But if we befriend, if we're close, I really mean it. I want to know what happened in your life. Your kid was sick. Oh, please tell me about it so that you feel better. Express yourself. I'm here. I got your back. The reason for these things are cultural. The second difference that I'm going to talk to you about is old but good quality versus new but bad quality. Okay, so we know that Europe is pretty freaking old, right? Compared to the US. Fairly young country, I believe it's like 243, 44 years. Please correct me in the comments if don't let me spread wrong information. But when you compare them, the US is, wearing diapers. Europeans are very proud of their history and how old and solid it is. You can walk around anywhere and you're gonna stumble upon a building that has 500, 600, 700 years and you're like, wow. And still you can see carvings on the walls that dates all the way back to those times. The most surprising of things is that Europe has gone through so many wars, periods of destruction, conflict, and still there are so many things that are still standing. Things feel better built, better quality. And in comparison, in the United States, you're gonna have these buildings, these highways, these tunnels and bridges that are mind-boggling, modern, they are big, they are impressive, yet not always these things are built with the best of quality. The houses in the United States, I've always wondered why. As a Dominican, you know, we build houses with bricks, we build houses with, you know, solid materials. And in the United States, when the first times that I, you know, was visiting, it always struck me how the walls were made of like paper. And someone told me once that it's because of the climate, but I'm not so sure. I've been to Florida and the houses are built the same way. I don't think they are as good quality as their counterparts in Europe. So I believe that's one of the most interesting differences between America and Europe that often gets overlooked. Number 3, the credit system versus the saving system. When you talk about a credit card, it sounds almost like a staple of American culture, of the American economic system. Seems like everyone in the United States that has a decent credit is gonna own a credit card. And it's also kind of like a revolving system where for you to build a good credit, you need a credit card so that you can demonstrate to the financial institutions that you can pay in time and all of those things. Not only that, but credit cards in the United States offer you so many benefits. They give you percentages in a cash back return, even pumping gas, you're gonna get discounts, or at least you're gonna get some money back. Every time you spend money using your credit card, and you get miles added to your, you know, customer, whatever, and at the end of the year or 2 years or whatnot, you are gonna find yourself with a free plane ticket to go on holidays. So it seems like a fantastic thing to own a credit card. You don't find that in Europe. And it's super like mind-blowing thing when you come to, I keep talking to you as if I'm in Europe. I'm in South Africa. Every time you go to Europe, it baffles you. I think people just don't prefer credit cards. They go more on a saving credit system. Okay, I don't think I was able to properly express what I meant. So basically, in Europe, credit cards are almost non-existent. But that doesn't mean that Europeans are against cards. They just don't want the card to be linked to a line of credit. They use the cards with a direct link to their current accounts. If they want to buy something, they usually go on a loan-by-loan system. But I think I explained that properly, so let's keep watching the original footage. Let's go. So if you go to any bank, you're gonna get a loan or something. So what people do is that they go to their financial institution and they strike a deal for them to buy this particular item. And I don't know if you can say one is better than the other one, because based on a study that I found online, in the US, there's a really high credit card debt. I think the average American has around $6,000 in credit card debt. But the findings on this study shows that in Europe, people are also in quite a lot of debt. So which one is better, you ask? To be honest, I don't know. I don't think that's the point either. Maybe Europeans are more savvy, smarter, because they are avoiding the pitfalls of a credit card debt. I don't know. But you tell me. First, tell me if you are European or if you're American. Tell me which of the two models you prefer. Number 4, overconfidence versus underconfidence. I really thought about it a lot when it comes to this, because I want to make sure that I can express what is exactly in my mind. At the beginning, I was thinking about the wrong term. I was thinking about self-esteem, but my friend Phil, thank you Phil, he helped me land on the concept of self-confidence, which is different. And according to Phil's message, self-esteem refers to whether you appreciate and value yourself. Self-confidence is your belief in yourself and your abilities. And this hits the nail right in the head, because I believe that for the most part, Americans come off as really self-confident people. There's a debate as to whether Americans are like this because of the economic and political power that they have on the world and influence, or perhaps it's just their ancestors. We know that this is a country of immigrants, whether it's a first, second, third, fourth generation, and it takes a certain type of individual to leave their home, leave everything they know and they have ever known behind, and go venture to a new place. So maybe it's all in the DNA. I don't know. And when you compare it to Europeans, I use the term underconfident. I think there's also a lot of modesty. People don't want to come off as if they know everything, as if they are better than anyone or everyone. They're not into telling you how many businesses they own, how much they have on their bank account, how many cars they have. Even something as simple as university and grades. It's taken as a given that if you go to university, you should study and you should get good grades. People are not gonna be patting you on the back and the shoulder saying, good job, you're the best, you got such good grades. It's like, well, yeah, you should have good grades, you know what I mean? That's all you do, you study. So why would you want me to congratulate you on your duties? And Americans are gonna be celebrating every single accomplishment. But I think that they both can, learn and benefit a little bit from each other's perspective on this. Americans and their self-confidence and over self-confidence. I am yet to see Americans humble to the degree of Europeans. So I think Americans need to learn a little bit more about that. My fifth and final difference is that in America, success is achieving, and in Europe, success is balance. The United States of America, it's a country that was built on a vision, a very big vision. Also, never endless work. People there work extremely hard to build what the US is today, but also a large amount of ambition. If you're ambitious and you live in the United States, you're gonna go places. If you're hardworking, there are opportunities. They call it the land of opportunities. And this is engraved in the mentality of people there. People are gonna work, doesn't matter how many hours, 16, 17, 18-hour days. They're gonna work 7 days a week if they have to, in order to achieve their goal. And that's because achieving things will guarantee success. But in Europe, things are very different. Of course, it'll depend where you're from. If you're in London, hey, it's pretty Americanized thing, right? Like it's grind, grind, grind. But for the most part, that's one of the things that surprised me the most when I lived in Europe for the first time. The concept of balance, life balance, is extremely important. People take their time to be with friends, with family, after work going for a pint, or during the weekends, time with babcha and jadek. That's not negotiable. I read somewhere that this is a fact. This was a study done where Europeans preferred to keep the position that they had than to get a raise in pay and in responsibilities, but then they lose free time. And that right there tells you everything you need to know when it comes to both approaches to life. Which one is better? It depends on you. Some people don't want to have free time. They think that they're wasting time just by not doing anything. They'd rather work hard, and then later in life be able to, retire younger and make up for all that lost free time in the future. And Europeans are more like, let's just have a pint. Boom! That's all, guys. That's the end of the episode. I hope you liked it. I hope you guys discovered new differences that you have never heard before. And if you have more differences based on your observations, on your life experience between the two places, please comment in the box below. One of the things that I love the most about this community is how we interact, how we learn from each other, the way that you guys talk to me, the way that you guys talk among each other. And it's one of the things that makes me the happiest about having this channel. So see you guys next week, and bye-bye.